Alright, what's good? So, this is going to be the first video on this channel, and I'm going to do a full review on the UFC 217 card. So, I'm going to go over my predictions for each of the fights on the main card, and I might cover a few on the prelims, so we'll see about that. But basically, I'm going to just talk about who I think is going to win each fight and what I think about each fighter and just about how the card's going to go in general. So, with that said, I'm going to start with a couple fights here on the undercard that I want to predict. And first one is going to be Mickey Gall versus Randy Brown. And, you know, right now, Mickey Gall's, he's on like 4-0. So, he's definitely proven he has potential. And Randy Brown, it's probably going to be a challenge, but I still see Mickey Gall pulling through. Like, he hasn't really been exposed yet in any way. So I'm going to choose Mickey Gall for that fight. And then next up, OSP versus Corey Anderson. I got OSP winning. OSP is like a solid gatekeeper at this point in time. Like, I feel like he can beat most fighters in his division except for like the top 3. So I'm taking OSP on that. Next up, that's about all I'm going to predict for the undercard. But the thing about the undercard is there's usually a lot more knockouts and just entertaining finishes. So watch the undercard is usually a good idea. But yeah, beyond that, not much else to see there. I'm going to put my opinion here on the main card. So, first up on the main card, we got Johnny Hendricks versus Paulo Costa. And I guess it's supposed to be Borrachina, but either way, I got Johnny Hendricks losing this fight. That's correct. Basically, post-USADA, Johnny Hendricks is not the same as he was before, so luckily he made weight. You know, we don't have to deal with that, but I just don't think he has like the drive or the passion anymore to just keep going on with this. I think this is his last fight, to be honest. He's gonna probably retire at some point soon, but yeah, I just don't think he's gonna like pull the trigger and come out there with a lot of intensity like he used to. But we'll see. Honestly, I'm rooting for him. Hopefully he can bring some heavy hands to the fight, do some damage. But that's what it is for that one. And then next up, we got Stephen Thompson and George Masvidal. And I got Stephen Thompson winning. Realistically, I see him winning just because they're both good strikers, but I feel like he's proven he's more well-rounded striker, and I feel like his technique is a little more solid. Jorge Masvidal is just a little sloppier in his approach, kind of like the Diaz brothers. He's got good cardio and fundamentals, but I see Stephen Thompson pulling through, and most likely in like a decision. I could see that happening, a decision. If not a decision, it could be a TKO, but Stephen Thompson, he hasn't been pulling the trigger lately, the last 2 fights, so that most likely won't happen. So, and because I forgot to predict, I got Mickey Gall winning a decision on that one. Same with OSP. That's just because I didn't go over those 2 finishes. And then I got Johnny Hendricks getting finished. So, my bad if it's kind of all over the place, but just had to get back on those 2 fights that I didn't predict a finish on. So finally we got to the main card here, the top of the main card, the poster you're looking at right here. We got Joanna Jedrzejczyk versus Rose Namajunes. For this fight, I got Joanna winning by decision. That's probably like the most predictable thing you could say for this fight, in my opinion, because that's basically how she's won all of her last fights. Most of her last fights, she's pretty much become a decisionator. But you know, what can you expect? It's the women's strawweight division. You're not going to see anyone getting knocked out basically ever. So yeah, personally, I'm just not a fan of watching the female fighters for that reason alone. There's barely any finishes. But also, Joanna, she's getting kind of annoying in my opinion. I don't know. I'm just kind of finding her really annoying, so I'm kind of rooting for Rose here, but I still don't see her striking. Probably won't be good enough. And yeah, basically what will determine this fight is if Rose can get Joanna to the ground and then work her ground game. But yeah, overall, I see this being very predictable. Joanna by decision. So, just going to move on from that. And, yeah, so next up, we got the co-main event. Cody Garbrant versus TJ Dillashaw. Dillasnake. The Snake in the Grass. Versus Team Alpha Male. And this is going to be a good fight. Everyone's been looking forward to this one for a good minute. It's going to be a war. And both of these guys' striking is like really next level. They both really got striking, but and I know MMA math doesn't work, but when you take a look at it objectively, Dillashaw went to a close decision with Cruz, Dominic Cruz, barely lost, and then Garbrant dominated Dominic Cruz. So if you did MMA math, you assume, okay, Garbrant's going to easily win against Dillashaw, but I truly think Dillashaw's improved since then. So I think it's going to be a little harder than Cody might expect, but I still see him pulling it off. I still see Cody Garbrant defending his title. And yeah, it's going to just come down to who has the strongest chin, because I feel like both of these guys are going to hit each other pretty hard at some point. But I still got Garbrant winning by maybe like second or third round KO, TKO, and if not, a decision. And I see the only way I see TJ Dillashaw winning is by a submission, but we'll see. You know, his striking is also pretty good. He could throw a random kick out of nowhere and rock Cody, so I don't know. Well, that fight's going to be fucking sick, though. I can see it being Fight of the Year contender for sure. But at the end of the day, I got Cody Garbrant winning, so we're just going to have to find out. And then, oh yeah, with their whole beef, Team Alpha Male shit, I really don't care for that. I kind of understand why TJ left Team Alpha Male. He was kind of getting, I don't know, everyone has their reasons, but yeah, he was kind of justified in going to Colorado, so all that shit Cody Garbrant talks about him being a traitor and shit, I don't know, it's really just to sell the fight. I don't think either of them actually give a fuck, but speaking about trying to sell a fight, I'm going to move on here to the main event, Michael Bisping versus George St-Pierre, the return of GSP, and you can tell for sure Michael Bisping has been trying to sell the fuck out of this fight. He knows that GSP can't sell a fight. He kind of just grins and kind of smiles at everything Bisping says, and then, you know, has a little couple comebacks, but to all the shit talking, but he doesn't really stir shit up the way Michael Bisping does. So props to Michael Bisping for, you know, putting in the effort to really sell the fight, even though it is kind of wolf tickets. He's still trying, but yeah. So we'll see if the Madison Square Garden sells out or not. Doesn't really matter. It's going to be a good card either way. But for the main card, my predictions are that I got Michael Bisping winning by either TKO or by decision. And to many people, this may sound like a bad choice. Like, there is a good chance GSP will just ground and pound him and fucking do what he's known to do, but to be honest, when it comes to GSP, there's just way too many questions. Like, he's been out for 4 years. There's just not a lot of ways to know if he's back to where he was before. But, you know, he has been telling everyone he's in his best shape ever and all that, but I feel like that's just to sell the fight. We don't actually know. But yeah, Bisping is just a fighter you can't underestimate. He always seems to find a way to win. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna really just come down to Michael Bisping's takedown defense and GSP's stand-up defense. If GSP can avoid getting hit and he can take Michael Bisping down, he's going to win the fight. And if Bisping can defend the takedown and fucking outpoint GSP, or even fucking TKO him, then he's going to win. So it's definitely a good style matchup. Seems kind of unpredictable because he's been back for 4 years now. So who knows? He might be still the wrestle fucker from 4 years ago, or he might be GSP 1.0 in his earlier days when he was just striking everyone. But yeah, we're gonna find out. So yeah, overall I got everyone on the left. Yeah, everyone who has a title right now, I feel like everyone's going to defend their title. There's a good chance I'm going to get one of these wrong, but I think I'll for sure get like 3/4 of all of my predictions correct. I definitely see that happening. So overall, I see this being card of the year. As of now, the card of the year was UFC 214 in my opinion, but with what happened to Jon Jones and shit, I really feel like that card is not as memorable anymore. So I feel like this card is going to be the card of the year. And then, yeah, this happens tomorrow. I'm stoked. I'll do another review video on the results after the card is over. And, yeah, keep an eye out for next few videos coming on for this new channel, new MMA channel. Going to talk about the future of the lightweight division, which is the hottest division right now, and as well as a couple other topics in MMA that are pretty relevant. So just keep an eye out for that. And yeah, we'll fucking have fun watching the card. I'm stoked. Alright, that's it for this one, and have a good day.